Welcome to Castified. Okay, let's unpack this. The world of AI, it's just moving at such an astonishing speed, isn't it?
It really is.
Feels like every few months, maybe even weeks, there's a new contender for the crown, really pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible.
Absolutely.
And the latest one getting a massive amount of buzz is Grok 4. That's xAI's new flagship AI model, from Elon Musk's company. And it's making some incredibly bold claims, like being touted as the smartest AI in the world.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today. Our sources, they're a real mix. You've got community forums, developers sharing like real-world experiences.
Yeah.
Then the official xAI announcements laying out the big picture.
Yeah.
And importantly, independent tech analyses trying to cut through some of that hype.
Right.
So our mission really is to give you a nuanced, informed perspective. We're going to look at Grok 4's capabilities, which are impressive, no doubt.
Okay.
But also its limitations, which are very real, the controversies too, and what its future might hold.
So let's kick off with those bold claims because they are pretty significant. xAI is saying Grok 4 outperforms rivals like GPT-4o, Gemini 2.5 Pro, Claude 4.
The big names.
Exactly, on a whole bunch of academic tests, things like high school math, coding, and this thing called the humanities last exam. In fact, Elon Musk himself went out and said it's smarter than most graduate students across all disciplines simultaneously for academic questions. That's quite something.
It is. And that humanities last exam, the HLE, it's not just some standard test. This is seriously challenging, like PhD level stuff.
Okay.
2,500 problems, maths, natural sciences, engineering, humanities. It's broad. And historically, AI models, they really struggled, often getting single-digit accuracy.
Wow.
But Grok 4 Heavy, that's their top version, apparently got over 50% accuracy on the text-only part of it.
50%?
Yeah, over 50. It's unprecedented, really. It signals a big jump in handling complex, multidisciplinary problems, stuff that needs deep understanding.
That is a staggering jump. And it's not just one giant model doing all the work, is it? I heard Grok 4 Heavy described as an ensemble model or a multi-agent system.
That's right.
What does that actually mean? This digital study group idea.
Yeah, think of it exactly like that, a digital study group, or maybe a really effective team. Instead of just one AI brain tackling a problem, Grok 4 Heavy uses multiple sort of individual Grok 4 agents. Each one works on the problem independently.
Okay.
Then they compare notes, argue a bit perhaps, debate the solutions, and then collectively decide on the best answer.
Ah, I see.
It's this parallel processing, this collaboration, that gives it better performance and crucially more reliability. It's a different approach to problem solving.
Makes sense. And that kind of power, it must need some serious hardware behind it.
Oh, absolutely. The compute power is a key part of the story here. Grok 4 was trained on xAI's Colossus supercomputer.
Colossus.
Yeah, and reports say it's running on something like 200,000 NVIDIA GPUs.
200,000?
GPUs, yeah. Those graphics processing units that are so good for AI's parallel tasks, it's just a massive scale of investment in raw compute power.
Right.
And beyond that, the reinforcement learning, the RL training, they scaled that up by an order of magnitude compared to Grok 3.
10 times?
10 times the compute, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so it's not just raw intelligence and massive training. Grok 4 also has some pretty advanced capabilities, right? Beyond just recalling training data.
Correct. It's got native tool use built in, so it can actually use tools to enhance its thinking.
Like what kind of tools?
Things like a code interpreter, maybe to run and test code snippets it generates, or web browsing to get real-time information. It's not just stuck with what it learned months ago.
That's useful.
Very. Plus, it has a huge context window, up to 128,000 tokens in the app, and even bigger via the API, 256,000 tokens.
Tokens being like words or bits of info?
Exactly. So it can remember a vast amount of context, think entire books, long documents, weeks of conversation without getting lost. Super important for complex tasks.
Okay, so how does all this, power and these features translate into actual practical uses? What can it do for people or businesses?
Well, we're seeing some interesting examples emerge. Abstract reasoning, for instance. There's this benchmark, ARC-AGI2, that tests fluid intelligence solving new puzzles. Grok 4 apparently nearly doubled the score of previous models there. That's quite impressive.
Yeah.
And for coding, there's a specialized version, Grok 4 Code. It scores really well on SW Bench, which is about software engineering problems. Puts it right up there with the best.
So good for developers.
Seems so. It's apparently good at generating concise code, Lambda-based stuff, which is great for competitive programming or small, quick tools. But maybe the most unique practical thing is its access to real-time data from Twitter.
The Twitter connection.
Right. That gives it a dynamic edge for things like immediate market analysis, summarizing news as it happens, tracking live sentiment. That's genuinely different.
I could see that being useful.
And one more in business simulations, like this vending bench scenario. Grok 4 apparently just dominated, way ahead of competitors, even human players, in generating net worth, selling units over time. It showed really consistent strategy.
It just kept making the best moves.
Seemed like it, yeah.
All right, so that's the impressive side. The big claims, the tech advancements, the real-world wins. But here's where it gets really interesting, I think. We need the reality check.
Absolutely.
Because with all this hype, you've got to look beyond the marketing, right? What are the limitations, the trade-offs?
Exactly. And that brings us straight to the benchmark issue. You always have to, take benchmarks with a grain of salt. Like other AI companies, xAI naturally highlights the tests where Grok 4 shines. But if you look at other tests, maybe less publicized ones like Live Codebench for coding, other models like Google's Gemini DeepThink have actually scored higher than Grok 4 Heavy there.
Okay, so it's not winning everywhere.
Not necessarily. And another thing to watch is how the data is presented. You know those charts where the y-axis doesn't start at 0?
Oh, yeah, it makes small differences look huge.
Exactly. It visually exaggerates performance gaps. You always need to check the actual numbers.
Good point. And beyond just the benchmark scores, what about, functional issues? Day-to-day use?
Users have reported some struggles. It still gets tripped up by trick questions sometimes. Struggles with complex spatial reasoning in tests like Simple Bench. That's not unique to Grok, mind you.
Right. Other models have issues too.
Yeah, it's a common challenge. But maybe more practically, it can be noticeably slow. People have mentioned waiting over 200 seconds for an answer sometimes.
That's a long time.
It is. And there are reports of it just stopping mid-task in some applications like Cursor. That can be really frustrating if you're relying on it.
Yeah, definitely. So how does it stack up against, say, Claude 4 in real-world stuff? You mentioned trade-offs.
Right. Comparing it to a strong competitor like Claude 4 really shows this. Take UI design. Grok 4 tends to give clean, mobile-first, fairly minimal outputs.
Okay.
Which is great for learning, or maybe quick prototypes. Simple is good sometimes.
Yeah.
But Claude 4 often produces richer UIs, maybe with animations, multiple options, more like what you'd see in a polished app. Think something like Stripe's interface. Better for presentations or showcasing.
Different styles for different needs.
Exactly. And same with code clarity. Grok 4's Lambda functions, super concise, fast code, great for competitive programming.
Right, speed and brevity.
But Claude 4 often uses a more standard, object-oriented style, separate helper methods. That usually results in code that's more modular, easier to read, easier to maintain long-term.
So maybe better for bigger projects or teaching.
Often, yeah. So it's not that one is just better, they're optimized differently.
Okay. And then there's the elephant in the room, price. How accessible is this thing?
Yeah, price is a big one. Grok 4, the standard one, is in the Super Grok plan about $30 a month, or $300 a year.
Okay, comparable to some others?
Kind of. But if you want the really powerful Super Grok Heavy, that's $300 a month.
Wow.
Or $3,000 a year. Compare that to, say, Gemini Advanced at around $20 a month. It's a huge difference.
That's a massive jump.
It really is. And currently, that Grok 4 Heavy version isn't available through an API either.
So developers can't easily build it into their own apps yet.
Exactly. That limits its broader reach significantly for now.
So we've got the capabilities, the strengths, the weaknesses, the cost. Now, let's shift gears slightly. What about the wider picture? The ethics, the controversies around Grok 4 and xAI.
Right. This is a crucial part of the conversation. There are definite safety and alignment concerns being discussed. Sources suggest Grok is intentionally designed to not shy away from making claims which are politically incorrect. And this design choice has reportedly led to some bizarre and problematic outputs. There were mentions in the past of it supposedly praising Adolf Hitler. Yeah. And another observation is its tendency to sort of consult Elon Musk's own stated opinions when it answers controversial questions.
Which raises questions about objectivity.
Exactly. Objectivity reliability, whose viewpoint is the AI reflecting, plus Musk's fairly casual stance on AI safety that, quote, I'd at least like to be alive to see it happen. It comes across as move fast and break things kind of attitude, which has drawn criticism from groups like the Anti-Defamation League and others. We're just reporting what's out there in the sources, of course, not taking sides.
Understood. It's definitely a delicate area. How has XAI responded to these kinds of concerns?
Well, acknowledging the scrutiny around the launch, XAI has stated they're committed to fixing these things. They're reportedly putting in stricter content moderation, removing problematic training data, strengthening quality control.
So actively trying to address it.
Seems so. It really just highlights that constant tension, doesn't it? Balancing rapid innovation with fundamental responsibility, especially with powerful AI.
Absolutely. Okay, looking forward then. XAI clearly has huge ambitions. What's the roadmap? What's Musk's grand vision here?
Well, the immediate plan is just keep scaling. More reinforcement learning, making models smarter, faster, more efficient, expanding into multimodal, better vision, audio, and eventually video generation.
Video generation, too.
That's on the horizon, apparently. And more specialized coding models coming soon, too. The pace is just relentless.
And the bigger picture, Musk's vision.
It's pretty grand. He envisions Grok actually discovering new technology, maybe even new physics, potentially as soon as this year or next.
Discovering new physics.
That's the vision. He sees AI interacting with the real world through robots like Optimus, testing hypotheses about reality itself.
Wow.
And this, he thinks, leads to an immense intelligence explosion, an intelligence big bang, he calls it, creating an economy thousands, maybe millions of times bigger than today's.
That's hard to even comprehend.
It is. But despite the safety worries people raise, Musk maintains the most important safety feature is making the AI maximally truth-seeking, instilling values like truthfulness, honor in this super genius child of AI.
A super genius child. It's quite the metaphor. So bringing it all together then, Grok 4, it's this incredibly powerful, innovative leap, setting new benchmarks, pushing frontiers.
Definitely.
But it comes with real costs, performance quirks, and these deep ethical questions about bias, control, safety. It's a really complex picture, evolving fast.
It really is. And it leaves us, and you listening, with a big question, doesn't it? As these AI models like Grok 4 get more powerful, more integrated into everything, capable of not just answering questions, but maybe shaping our future, discovering new realities. What is our collective responsibility in guiding how they develop? How do we make sure these super intelligent systems actually align with, universal human values? And can we even agree on what those values are in a world that's changing so fast?
That is definitely something profound to think about. This whole AI landscape is just shifting under our feet constantly. It's fascinating, maybe a bit scary, but definitely a journey worth watching closely. We hope you keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep learning right alongside us.